Good evening and welcome to the Society, our weekly Vaesen RPG campaign. My name is Loki, and I will be your game master for these dark and thrilling tales. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this, our premiere episode, and I hope that we delight, fright, and intrigue you with mystery and adventure. Now, I am not alone this evening for our premiere episode. We have a crew and cast of amazing people. We're all quite nervous, and this is the first time that we have played Vaesen, let alone the first time that we have all streamed. So, prepare yourself for some fun, frolics, and I'm anticipating a host of technical issues that are almost guaranteed to plague us. But we will do our best to entertain you for our time together and for the whole night. So, without further ado, let's meet our cast.
Well, hi, I am Sarah and I'm playing Elster Jensen, the Forest Ranger.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm playing Maximilian Fjellbeck, the paranormal investigator.
Hi there, I'm Jack. I'm playing Lieutenant Colonel Bartholomew Seaton, the officer.
Now, we're going to do the really boring bit to start off with. So we're going to do all the names and the thanks and the gratitude and all those important little bits first. And then we'll kind of relax a little bit. So these are our lines. These are actually a little bit scripted. So we're just going to slink through them and say thank you. So we have a number of people we would like to thank for all the resources and contributions they have provided to tonight's episode. The links should appear in the Twitch chat at some point. We're going to try and make sure that we hit you up with all those really important links so that you can go and find these amazing artists and contributors to our channel and our stream. If you are catching up on YouTube, we will put all the links in the description bit below.
Well, to start off, our virtual tabletop tonight is the incredible Roll20, featuring their dynamic lightning feature, the inbuilt character sheets, and the virtual dice roller. Go check them out at roll20.net. In addition, our battle maps were created using Dungeon Fog and all the amazing assets over there.
Our character art was created by the extremely talented Zhuzha, who you should go and check out on Instagram at ZhuzhaUK. That's ZSUZSAUK. Our game tokens and dice rollers tokens come from the Vaesen RPG rulebook by Free League and from the amazing artist Johan Egerkrans.
The music and ambient sound throughout the stream come from Tabletop Audio and Kevin McLeod at Incob Tech, all provided via the Roll20 Jukebox. You can check both of these amazing artists out via their website at tabletopaudio and incobtech.com.
Oh my god, guys, you're amazing. Well done. I feel that's the hurdle. That's the first hurdle we had to get past, was this ridiculous introducing ourselves and doing all the attributions and all that sort of thing. So now we're real life people, so you can get rid of your government voice, your your telly advert voice. Okay, well, we are super excited to finally be at the point where this project is coming to life. So we've been working on this really hard in the background, squirreling away. We've been really excited to share this with you. And I mean, tonight is the night. This is the premiere episode. And yeah, we're super excited. I can't tell you how nervous I was. This is the first time I'm streaming. In fact, a few of us, this is our first stream. Some people might be familiar faces to some of you, and I'm super excited. This is that awkward moment where we transition between having something written down to guide us and how we maneuver and negotiate ourselves into the story. So what I will do, let me give you a little tiny introduction and a little bit of background into what we're all about and who we are. We are the Society. I am your GM. So for those of you who are not familiar with role-playing games, I am kind of the rules master storyteller, and everyone else is going to play unique characters in our game. Now, Vaesen is an amazing game system that has been designed and published by Free League Games. It is a Nordic horror, and it is set in Scandinavia in general. It is set in the at some time in the past. We have pitched it straight in at sort of 19th century. So we're talking, 18 something, 1860 or 1854, something like that. But the date is not too important. The world is a little different. It is not the world that you're familiar with. It is an echo of this world, but a parallel one to ours, where historical events have played out slightly differently. This world will be our stage as we explore this mystical realm, as we delve into dark fairy tales, we explore intriguing folk stories, and every now and then encounter legends. We are going to start tonight's adventure in a not so mystical place. In the mythic north lies the country of Norway. It is part of the United Kingdom of Norway and Sweden, a singular nation ruled by a single king. Norway's capital at this time is not the Oslo that we're familiar with now, but rather the old city of Christiania. One of our characters, a Maximilian Fjellbark, a paranormal investigator of some renown and standing throughout the Nordic countries, has received a letter from a prior client. The letter, pleading for assistance, has begged Max to help a strange occurrence in a village somewhere in Norway. Max has reached out to a number of former colleagues or acquaintances and has asked them to meet him in the Christiania train station. It is here, in this grand building of steel and glass, filled with the sounds of steam locomotives and excited travellers, that we meet our players. The huffing of the steam trains, the blare of whistles, the clatter of luggage and running feet surround and echo through this wide open space. It is cool here. The clouds scud gently across a blue sky, and the sun shines lazily on this early morning in Christiania. There are several train locomotives sitting in the stations, just waiting for the fuel and the fire to drive them onwards to adventure. Deep into Norway, and in some cases further afield, into Sweden, and maybe even beyond. On a platform stands a rather vacant-looking daydreamer, staring into the steam of one of the locomotives. Tousled hair, but well-dressed. We find Maximilian Fjellbark. He gazes absent-mindedly, almost staring into another world, captured by the patterns and rivulations of smoke rising from the slumbering engine. There is a voice calling to Maximilian. The voice belongs to Elstrid Jensen, another one of our characters, as she hurries towards Maximilian on the platform. And now, I will hand it over to our players. For you need to bring your characters to life. Bring the story to life. And I need more gin for courage.
No. Mr. Filbert, it's been a pleasure. It's been a while since last time we saw each other.
Alstrid, you still smell of wood. It's nice. I see you have a new companion.
Oh yeah, this is Caddy, my new companion. She's a Danish Spitz. She helps me with my job. Come on, Caddy,
With
say
all that-
hi.
With all that fur, I can imagine. Interesting to keep clean.
Yeah, but you know, living in the woods or a bit more than that. It's always like, you know, there's always the rain case.
Indeed. I wonder where my other friend is.
As our two adventurers greet each other on the platform, we turn our attention towards a much more stately figure who enters into the train station. This figure draws the attention of a few passers-by. With saber on hip as well as pistol, this well-dressed gent screams military man. Lieutenant Colonel Seaton, by name and rank, another one of Maximilian's acquaintances. He enters into the station, searching for Maximilian, and it doesn't take too long to notice the absent-minded genius talking to a young woman.
Young Max, how is it you are doing today, dear sir?
Oh. It is nice to see you again.
I put out a cigar, light it up, and I see you with another young friend. And who might you be?
My name is Elster Jensen, and you are...
Lieutenant Colonel Bartholomew Seaton.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. So, Max, I'm guessing you have called us here for the important message.
Indeed. I think we should move to somewhere a bit less populated.
Indeed.
Follow your lead.
I believe there's somewhere quieter over here.
Absolutely. There is a waiting room off to the side of the platform. It's quiet. The weather here isn't too bad at the moment. It's not the freezing winter, and so most people are happy to stand on the platform. That means the waiting rooms that are often the warmest parts of the station are left almost entirely empty. As luck would have it on this day, there is a waiting room that does not have anyone in it at the moment. The door creaks open with one of those ghastly squeals, telling you that the door hinges immediately need oiling. But it is calm, quiet, and most importantly, private on the inside.
This is much better. Let me just close the door. I have had many a client in my short number of years, and one of them has recently reached out to me. She sent me this letter. Would you like me to read it to you?
Please.
It begins, "Dear Maximilian, I don't know if you will remember, but you helped us when my husband disappeared a few years ago. Now I urgently need your help again. Something terrible has befallen the village of Espedalen, where we live. Now my son Halfdan and all of the other children are missing. We desperately need your help, and I fear your expertise. I'm going to head out of the village to search for the children. Hopefully I will see you when you arrive. Inga Berka.
Missing children.
Yes. Her husband disappeared a few years ago. I investigated, and unfortunately, all we were able to recover was a body. I believe this is Vaesen related, and the type of Vaesen is a revenant, an undead spirit which comes back for vengeance.
Why would the spirit be vengeful against children?
This I am not sure, but with the amount of disappearances, I feared I needed extra assistance.
Understood. Were you able to sort out the issue last time, other than just recovering the body?
I believe so. There was no further disappearances at that time.
Do you know by any chance if disappearances ever happened before other than the husband in this village?
There doesn't seem to be any. And it definitely was not man that did it.
Understood.
Well, I offer my help any way I can. So,
Thank you.
Would you, Max? I'm always here to help.
Thank you very much. GM question.
Yes.
How far is Espedalen?
Espedalen. Okay, good question. So, you are currently in Christiania. You need to travel to a town called Herdal, which is in... It is in central-ish Norway. Christiania is quite far south in Norway. It will be many, many hours of travel. Steam trains in this day and age do not go particularly quickly, especially when they have to travel up, over and through mountainous regions. Norway being a particularly mountainous nation, the train lines very often either navigate around or through many of the mountains. So they are not, it is not the swift service that we're kind of accustomed to nowadays. So it will be many hours of journey. Once you reach Herdal, the remainder of the journey will be via carriage. So there is an additional amount of journey that will need to happen. All in all, it probably is going to take you well over a day, if not closer to 2, to get where you need to go.
Perfect.
The majority of that journey will be via train to Herdal, so this probably will be a good 12 hours. Then the carriage from there, you will have to have an overnight, and then the carriage will take you the rest of the way. Unfortunately, the carriage journey from Herdal to Espedalen is going to be more than you can do in a single day, so you will have a second night before you reach Espedalen. You should reach the village early in the morning of the second day, which is good time and miraculous, really, for the time.
My friends, I have already prepared travel arrangements. As I hope that you would both come. So,
Forty
I have
as
your
always.
tickets.
thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. I believe we're on the wrong platform though, so we'll need to move.
And that is correct, as Maximilian says that he believes you to be on the wrong platform. As you exit the waiting room, you realize, indeed, you are standing on the Bergen Line platform, which is definitely not the direction that you need to go. You navigate your way through the train station. The hustle and bustle, the hubbub around you, the excitement is palpable. Excitement coupled with the scent of coal smoke brings this train station to life. It gives it an energy all of its own. A magical and exciting energy. And the three of you find yourselves glancing absent-mindedly around, almost certain to find glimpses to the other world. For the three of you are Thursday's children. In this world, Thursday's child is someone who either by the grace of gods or through trauma, you have been awakened to another world that lays over the top of ours. A magical world filled with strange and miraculous creatures, all of which you can see. It is a strange gift to have, as only those with the sight can glimpse the other world. It is something that all three of you share, and something that has solidified your friendship in the past. This magical place of the train station, almost a liminal place, a crossroads, where lives change dramatically through travel, through journey, by the arrival of excited visitors, guests or loved ones, or by the sadness of them leaving. You gaze around the station, almost certain that at any moment you will glimpse the other world. But strangely, you do not. It is almost entirely absent in this modern world. Thankfully, a friendly station master is able to guide you to the correct platform, as Maximilian is not the most adept at navigating. And although Ulstrid, the Lieutenant Colonel, are more than capable of working their way to their destination, this is neither a forest nor a battlefield. Through a little bit of pointing, gesturing, and a small amount of description, you're able to find the platform to the train that will take you to Hedar. It is a stout and black locomotive, clearly designed for function rather than beauty. Its smokestack lazily spews steam, and you can see a crew manning the train, who, at the moment with it in the station, are lazily sitting either on the platform or on the engine steps, enjoying a cigarette before their journey onward. There is a little hustle and bustle as people board the train carriages. Of course, there is a little section for first class, which, with some disappointment, you realise is not your intended destination. But you are not to travel at the very back of the train, rather in the middle. It'll be a comfortable journey, at least. You click open one of the doors, swinging it open, and clamber into the carriage, bringing your luggage with you. And it isn't too difficult for you to find a side room on the train that is unoccupied. These train carriages are very similar to those in the Harry Potter films. So if you remember, you have a corridor down one side, and on the other there are separate little travelling rooms, inside each of which is a little table with bracketed by comfortable, and I say comfortable in quotation marks, comfortable seating, with overhead luggage compartments, and you're easily able to find one of these that at present is unoccupied.
Mm-hmm.
Maneuvering yourselves in and stowing your luggage, you sit yourselves down. It isn't long before you hear the blare of a whistle. The sudden sort of cacophonous clamouring of doors closing as all of the carriage doors shut almost simultaneously. And then there is the telltale chug-chug sound from the locomotive and the sudden jerk as the carriages engage against the locomotive and slowly roll out of the station. It is a slow departure from the station. And as you watch the platform roll past, each of you feel a sense of both adventure but also of nerves, for you are heading into the unknown. There is a mystery before you that needs solving. But it is not just a puzzle that needs an answer. For this time, there are lives at stake, and not just any lives. There is a weight that sits on all of your shoulders as you realise there is the responsibility of all the children of Espadar resting on each of you. The station suddenly breaks away from view as the train leaves the platform behind and begins chugging off along the line. The city itself slowly drags past as the train makes its way out of Christiania. The train station is on one of the outskirts, on one of the edges. It would be ludicrous to try and build a line through the higgle-piggle of ancient streets. And rather, in the industrial heartland of the city, the train station has been placed. So the view from the windows at first is not that of a rolling city, but more a metropolis of smoke, steam, and industry. Factories have sprung up, and there is nowhere in this city that you can go without being confronted abruptly by technology and its advancements. Whether it be the novelty of electric lighting, an invention that appeared in the last few years and now garishly rages itself through street and home alike. Whether it be steam engine or manufacture, industry screaming its wares and its mass production onto the streets and into the shops. It is this industrial monster through which the train cycles. But there is an abrupt change from the window. There isn't a petering out of the city, rather an abrupt stop. It feels like a border between the modern and the old. As the train leaves the outskirts of the city of Christiania, the buildings and the concrete, the technology and the industry immediately give way with a harshness that rings through your mind. As suddenly, field, fjord, and mountain take over. The ancient landscape of Norway, abutted straight up against the city. It's almost as if the two are in direct war with one another. The abruptness of the change, the sudden shift from industry to nature, is almost instantly soothed, however. For in this beautiful land of Norway, how can one's soul not be soothed? The sparkling, almost turquoise fjord, mountains, the forests. It is through this beautiful landscape that the train now begins to accelerate. As the engine crew pile coal into the engine, as the power goes to the wheels, you accelerate out into the unknown, through the wilderness, wild country. After a few minutes, a very friendly face appears at the door. Sliding open your little private compartment, a much older woman in a little pinafore pops her head in and says, "Anything from the trolley, dears?"
Well, you offer ways of transportation. I guess I will offer lunch. Anything you want, Max?
Just a sandwich for myself, please.
Same for myself, please.
Perfect. And I'll get 3 sandwiches.
The little old woman
Yeah.
merrily smiles at you and rummages around inside her trolley. She provides the very traditional Norwegian open sandwich, a nice thick slice of rye bread with a selection of toppings placed on top. For those of us who are used to sandwiches, would immediately notice a lack of a second piece of bread. But in Norway, it is very common to have what is called an open sandwich. She hands these out to you wrapped in little paper packages, and then continues to press her advantage against you and says, "Would you like any snacks or drinks to go with those? It is a long journey."
Brandy for myself, please.
Just some water for me.
Water for myself as well, please. That would be great.
With a little flurry of activity, the lady is able to provide you with the beverages you have requested. The water comes in the form of a large, rather functional-looking jug. There's nothing ornate about this, it is form and function. And she plonks it down in front of you after drafting some water out of a compartment in the trolley. She also provides you with a couple of glasses, and then very carefully pours Lieutenant Colonel's slightly more exotic beverage. She smiles sweetly as you exchange currency, and then she slides the door closed with a tusen tak. And then off she goes on her the most important job, in my opinion, on a train is food. I am definitely a train food and snacks person. So in my opinion, this woman is a god. And off she goes to fulfill the most sacred of train duties, leaving the three of you in your little sanctuary with food, as the wild Norway kind of begins to whip past as the train reaches its top speed.
Is this the type of train that has, like, I don't know, common rooms, like wagons that are just like for, mingling?
Yes, absolutely. This is definitely the kind of train. You're on a very long journey. So there is going to be, in between the first class carriage or carriages and the rest of you, there is very likely to be like a diner or a bar car.
Club car.
A club car. I mean, there's lots of words for it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's almost that beautiful, like, saloon car that you would see in, like, Murder on the Orient Express. It's got, like, a couple of, like, sofa-y cushioned chairs and tables.
As long as it's not Snowpiercer.
As long as it's Don't worry, no one will be poking their hand out of a small hole so that it can be freezed off at any time. But no, there is a rather fancy bar car on today's service to Hedal, and a rather novel introduction of late is an observation car. It's like a quiet place on the train where you can sit and contemplate your journey, maybe read, but mostly it's for enjoying the beautiful scenery that whizzes past. It is at the other end of the train to the bar car, and they're like polar opposites, with the bar car being somewhere for gossip, conversation, cards, beverages. The observation car being one for quiet contemplation and enjoying the surroundings. There is also likely to be luggage carts right at the very end. And there will be a train, all of you would be familiar with a train guard who would sit at the intersection between the public and the luggage cars. And will act as a guard. So it's very unusual for you to be allowed access into the luggage area of the train. Mostly because at this time, the trains that cart passengers would also cart mail, luggage, packages, parcels, it would ship goods from one city to the other. And so generally you're not allowed into the luggage car. And that would be the build-up of this train. It wouldn't have sleeper cars in it because it isn't going on a long enough journey to warrant there being bedrooms.
Okay.
And there are obviously toilet facilities on the train as well. Don't worry, you don't have to hang out of a window.
Oh my god!
But unfortunately, there's not going to be one of those fabulous train baths. I don't know if anyone's ever done a long-haul train journey, but if you ever do, all I can say is make sure you have a train bath once in your life. It's literally like, I don't even really know how to describe what one looks like. It looks a little bit like a giant kitchen cupboard, but without a top on it. So it literally does come up like way over your waist, and you open the side of it, and it opens inwards, and you clamber in, and there's a little seat, and you sit into it, and it comes up almost to your shoulders, and you just fill it, but you're actually sat in it as if you were sitting on a chair. So that it takes up a much smaller amount of space. All I can say is make sure you have one, because there's something magical about sitting inside a bath on a train. I'm a trained person, alright? I'm a trained person. Chat, you'll have to forgive me.
This really sounds like a liminal space.
I mean, I think, personally, it's a magical space. Being able to contemplate your existence in a sitting bath on a train is fabulous.
Okay.
But yeah, so you find yourselves on this train with snacks.
Okay. Well, I am gonna have my lunch, and then I kind of want to go towards the lunchroom to see who's up and about. What are you guys up to?
I'll stay here for a minute. I'm sorry, I was going to ask Max more about the letter, asking about the wife and son, what he knows about their past, who they were involved with the case, who they might know, ins and outs of Duck's ass, really.
And Max will just eat his sandwich and is staring absent-mindedly out the window before you do this.
also, I'm not sure, as the GM, whether this is companionable or awkward silence in this carriage as the journey continues. As you all tuck into your smørbrød, as it's called. I apologise if there's any Norwegian on the watching us. My pronunciation's probably ghastly, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to plough on through. So as you enjoy your open sandwich, your smørbrød, and the lunch that you have, I imagine there's a little silence that fills the space, and after a moment, Elstrid kind of just excuses herself. She's had enough of sitting in the quiet.
Elsie doesn't do well sitting down for long times. Like, she's just gonna go. I mean, she's gonna say, "See you soon," and then she just goes. She's used to, like, spend her time with Skadi and the woods. So she's fine with silence, but no people silence.
And I can totally imagine this beautiful, fluffy dog kind of looking up at Elstrid as she gets up to leave the carriage. And you can see in this little fluff's face of like please don't tell me I have to get up as well, because I have found a comfy place to sleep now that I've been allowed, probably not allowed, but have managed to get onto one of the comfy chairs.
I'm just gonna quickly kneel next to Skadi and just say, "Girl, you stay here, take care of the boys."
There's just the end of the tail kind of wags a little bit, like I couldn't possibly come with you. Like I am exhausted. And there is the sound as the door slides closed, and you see Elstrid make her way further into the train towards the club car. Now, we're actually going to follow Elstrid with our story. The train itself seems to be fairly busy. It's not ram-packed as you walk past the other compartments and into the other carriages and onward. There is a fair number of people on the journey, and it is a definite mix. There is an undeniable mixture of people. There are businessmen, there are families, there are the super wealthy, there are the up-and-comers into wealth, and there are those with that look of desperation in their face, where it is undeniable that it is likely they spent their last few coins on this train journey hoping for a better future. As you make your way through the carriages, it is quite quiet, with each one compartmentalized, until you reach the club car. Sliding the door to the club car and entering in, there is a little hubbub of sound that not assails you, but it is noticeable. This kind of hubbub of voices. There are a few people who are enjoying the luxuries of a bar car. There are a couple that you notice immediately very likely came from first class. Judging by their clothing and the way that they behave, they're clearly from the other end of the train.
I am gonna, trying to avoid first class people, because even if, it reminds me of people I know, probably actually that's the reason why I avoid them. I kind of want to hear if there are conversation going on, if I hear anybody that is going back to Hedal, just because I think that's the most closer to where we are supposed to be going. So I kind of want to hear if somebody's familiar with the place or something like that, and then I can try to join in the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the time has come. The time has come. This is another This is another milestone in this journey.
Okay.
Can you give me either
Yeah.
an investigation or a vigilance check? This is it, chat. This is the first dice roll of the society.
Okay.
Yay!
And now let's see if this works.
So Scotty is back in the room, so I'm on my own, so no modifiers, so let's go. It's a great start.
Okay, now has this... It has! Okay, cool. So,
It
for
worked.
everyone in chat and who is watching live or on the YouTube, you will be very excited to notice that right below me, you can see the live... Where am I? I'm there. Right below me, you can see the live dice rolls that come straight out of our Roll20. So, just to give you guys a little bit of knowledge so that you can understand what's going on and you can join in with the excitement. If the little square, each square represents a dice. If it is empty, then it is bad. This means that it is a fail on the die. If it has this lovely swirly pattern, it means that it is a success. And we can see here on our first roll on the society that Elstridge not only has one success, which is all you need in Vaesen. You just need the one success to succeed. But you actually have got a second one.
Oh yeah.
So this means that you can use your second one to get some additional bonus because you know you rolled so damn well.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So I particularly with the second success. Oh no, wait. It's you that have to decide what happens.
Okay. So in this case for investigation, it means that you get fuck ton more details.
Yes.
Okay. So as you walk into the bar car,
Yep.
noticeably avoiding the first classes,
Yep.
noticeably avoiding the wealthy. It is kind of looking around and listening that you very swiftly spot someone sitting in the bar car, sipping what looks to be maybe whiskey.
Okay.
He
Are they on
is he's a little older than you. You'd say probably in his 30s.
Everybody's older than me.
He's in his 30s, but for all the fact that he is in his 30s, he does look a little older. He's clearly weathered by spending a lot of time outside.
Okay.
And he is dressed for being outside. This isn't someone who's wearing traveling clothes. It's not, you know, shirt and trousers. This is someone who screams outdoorsy. Gauging from the jacket cast over one of the chairs and from the very practical clothing, the knife at the belt, the ammo pouch at the hip. This is clearly someone who not only spends a lot of their time outside, very likely is a hunter, or maybe a fellow ranger. There is a kinship that is undeniable between the pair of you. This is another person of the wild.
Okay. Are they on their own?
Yes.
Because like I was trying to. Okay, that for some reason they attract my attention, considering I was looking for somebody, you know, like of the area. I don't know if they have the coloring of people from here, which is, you know, very probably not a good thing to say, but
Well, so this is it's very difficult in this sort of post-industrial revolution era to be able to sort of see these things. you know, it is now mass-produced material is becoming really accessible throughout the country, and it is quicker and cheaper to get hold of than the more manual, traditional, handmade fabric. And so a lot of the a lot of the cultural, a lot of the sort of community designs and styles are kind of fading away as people become almost unable to afford them, and if they can afford them, they become a thing to wear on special days or to church rather than to wear on the train. What draws your attention to this gentleman is that kind of, you get the vibe that this is a ranger or a hunter, and like you, they are traveling from the city out into the country. It is very likely that whoever this gentleman is, he is headed in the same direction as you, at least to Hedal, and then will head out into the countryside. It stands to reason that he may know of the local. He may know of the local area. And if not, he may be able to point you in the right kind of direction.
Is this a train that makes multiple stops or just straight to Hedal?
So Hedal is where you're heading to. But this does actually, the train does go further than Hedal. But only a couple of stops. There are a few on the way as well, but all of them are to... So you're heading north, and there are not many cities in the centre or the north of Norway. They tend to all be round the coast because of the ports. So Oslo is a great city because of the fjord. The fjord allows connection, like a very significant connection out to the sea, so there is a portness to it. Then you've got Trondheim, Bergen. These are like these really big port cities. Everything on the line you're on tends to be small towns that were selected to connect to the line, one, because they were in the way, but two, because of wood and minerals, which is why the train lines reach into the depths of Norway, the lumber and mining industries. And it just so happens it makes money to have passengers on the line as well. So you are on a train that is making stops, but all of them are to towns relating to the lumber industry or the mining industry, but they're out in the countryside.
This possibly ranger, is it almost done with his drink?
No, he actually looks like he is just sitting and enjoying the journey.
Well, I am gonna go close, like not sitting next to him, but like, you know, 1 or 2 spaces over. And I'm just gonna, well, first I'm gonna get myself a drink. And then I'm just gonna say in his direction, long travel ahead for you as well.
You clearly snap him out of some sort of daydream or thought train. And he turns, and you see there's a little, at first there's almost like a little severe expression, like an irritation at being interrupted from his train of thought, but he instantly smiles at you afterwards. And he says, yes, actually I'm heading to Hedal, so it's quite a few hours journey. How about you? Would you like a seat? Let me move my coat out of the way. And he kind of, like a gentleman, very gentlemanly, tries to get his coat off the chair opposite him. You notice he even brushes the chair down a little bit, as if he's worried that his coat might be grubby, and then he like kind of slings his coat onto the chair, or like the back of his chair, and then motions for you to be welcomed to sit.
Okay, I am gonna join him then. I'm heading actually to Hadal as well. So,
What
long
a
journey.
coincidence.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what takes you out to Hadal?
I'm helping a friend. So he needs to go there. He's requiring a bit of help, you know. It's strength in numbers. What about you?
That makes sense. Strength in numbers. Unless you're on the hunt. Then the fewer the better.
That is
Fewer
very...
feet make quieter noise.
That is very true. What do you do? I see what looks like the holder of a knife. Are you a ranger?
Of a sorts. I am a hunter. A trophy hunter.
Oh, interesting.
Not for myself. Not for myself. I'm making a little bit of a mess out of this, aren't I?
No, you're fine.
My name's Kolbjörn.
My name is Elstrid.
It's nice to meet you. You'll have to excuse me. I've been in Christiania for some time, and all the manners, the up, down, yes, no, ma'am, sir.
Yeah.
I'm a hunter by trade. I hire my skills out to the wealthy. It's becoming quite fashionable and popular in the city to have trophies from the countryside. You know, reindeer skins, elk heads, and the like. It pays surprisingly well. And at least if I do it, I know I'm doing it right. And it's not some rich toff going out firing a rifle when they really don't know what they're doing with it. If you get my meaning.
Yeah, unfortunately I do. Back home, yeah, I've know a few people like those, unfortunately. But yeah, like, I was starting to go towards Hadal with my friend, then I started hearing about these weird things happening over there, and I'm like, that raises my, red flags. Something is going on over there. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I haven't heard much. I'm sorry, where did you say you were going?
Towards Hadal, a bit further. It's a small village. I don't really remember the name. It's, just helping out a friend. He has all the details.
Fair enough. I mean, it's wild country out there. That's why I'm heading in that direction. GM question. Am I getting the feeling he's hiding something? Or is really, generic in his answers? You get the feeling that he's got that kind of rosy-cheeked awkwardness that a young lady has just sat with him on the train. And you can, by his apology, you definitely get the feeling that he was trying to give you all the gentlemanly manners and then just stumbled all over it, and now is just sort of being a little bit more open with you. But he's telling the truth. He's not sort of hiding anything. but there is definitely rosy-cheeked awkwardness of that a young lady has has chosen him to sit with. We are going to leave this little awkward pair of hunters in the club car and rejoin our probably equally awkward adventurers in their carriage. So as you see Elstrid walk away, as she heads towards the club car and she closes the door behind you, it leaves the two of you in this little silence, having just finished eating. The sound of the train continues, and the Norwegian landscape kind of starts sailing past. It is at this point that I'm going to stumble over Lieutenant Colonel and Lieutenant Colonel and combinations therein the entire night and probably into multiple episodes.
Eating is fine.
So everyone will just need to forgive me while I stumble over military ranks. So it is about this time that Lieutenant Colonel Seaton begins raising questions to Max about the letter.
I mean, you say it's awkward silence. Max is fine with it.
So how did you come across this case in the first place?
Ingrid reached out to me. We knew each other from a previous engagement, and she knew of my potential skills with regards to this matter. Her son was much younger. I think maybe four years old at that point. And I'd helped someone in a similar circumstance. It turned out that it wasn't Vaesen related whatsoever. It was actually a mass murderer that had gone on the loose. But I helped all the same.
Do you think this mass murderer was returned?
No. If it's the same modus operandi that happened previously with her regards to her husband, then this is no mere human that has done this.
Of interest then. How do you know Elstrid?
Elstrid has a backstory. One at which I'm not entirely certain that I should be sharing with you. But needless to say, I investigated for her as well. After the death of her entire family. It's why she always reminds me of Woodsmoke.
You must trust her a lot to bring her in on this.
Absolutely. Same way I trust you.
You know I trust your instincts, Max. So what sense did you get from this lady we're going to be visiting? The wife? What do you remember from her?
A truthful woman. Devout, religious. Forager. She likes to collect plants and things.
And her son?
A curious lad. Nothing really of note. A mere child when I met him. I'm just hoping that he has not befallen the same fate as his father, otherwise I will have to deliver another body back. And potentially a lot more.
Let's hope that's not the case.
Indeed. It would be nice to end a case on a high note for once.
It's that fact in your line of work, it's not often a happy one.
No. I do like to make sure it is our line of work, first of all.
Yes.
Humans are funny creatures.
Yes, we are. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to start stripping and cleaning my rifle.
Strip away. Da da da.
Oh,
da,
good.
da,
I'm glad
da.
that there is still innuendo, even on the society stream. Beautifully done. Beautifully done.
I will lay down my rifle and I will start stripping it and oiling it. Making sure all the mechanisms are working properly. Putting it back together. Field testing it. Stripping it apart again. This rifle is immaculate. There isn't an inch of dirt on it, and anywhere there's no rust, it is pristine. And he just keeps doing this over and over again.
Max, what do you do while Lieutenant Colonel Seaton polishes his weapon? There's just too many opportunities. I can't turn them all down.
So, whilst Lieutenant Colonel Seaton is putting his rifle, taking it apart and putting it back together again, Max takes out his book that he has, and he's looking at pictures of herbs and plants that he collects from the areas to which he's been and going to, and trying to work out how he remembers a certain location by its plants and its smells.
And so we will leave you two in companionable silence as the Lieutenant Colonel shines his weapon, and Max studies the books that he's bought, the lore and the knowledge of the local area and regions that Max has visited. You will want to note this down in your character sheet, both of you. You have advantage. So, Lieutenant Bartholomew, there you go. I can just jump over your rank and use your first name instead, and I feel like I can do that. Why? Because I'm the GM. That's the only reason. Because you maintain your weapon in such an immaculate state, you now have an advantage. This advantage is related to the use of your rifle. When you use your rifle, you are able to gain a 2 dice advantage once per session. Okay, and that is your journey's advantage. In Vaesen, everybody gets an opportunity to set themselves up a specific advantage that they gain during the journey to the mystery. Max, your advantage is related to the first time that you try to remember a fact or a piece of information about the local area. Now there's one other person who is busy trying to get their advantage by chatting up a local hunter, and that is Elstrid.
I am just talking. I'm not chatting up anybody.
He doesn't know that, that's for sure. And so we return to our bar car, and the two hunters who sit there, sticking out a little bit to the sort of opulence of the bar car.
Okay. Well, he told me that he is a hunter, a trophy hunter, and so I'm gonna say, back home I'm a forest ranger. I don't know if you can tell by my accent, but I am not from around here. So I was wondering if you could tell me anything I need to be on the lookout for in the area. I'm gonna be straight with you. I saw a similar soul in this car, and you were my best bet.
Fair enough. And, yeah. I could tell you weren't from around here. Your Norwegian is good, but,
Meh.
I guess you can take the Dane out of Denmark, but...
Yeah.
But I won't hold that against you. The
Thank
local
you.
area. Well, we have a lot of mountains and forests in the local area. It's very... There is a fjord that runs quite some distance. The majority of towns are against the fjord. It makes for good fishing opportunities, and obviously it provides a source of water. Land gets a little flat around there as well. There is a flatter patch out that way where there is some farms. It's all around a small... It's not really a town, more a village called Espedalen, I think. There are a lot of... The town itself is very small, but there are a lot of farms around the area that take advantage of the flatter area towards the fjord and the nutrients that come from the glacial melt. And where it isn't flat, as it starts getting into the hillier region, they've got a lot of fruit trees that grow quite happily. They're quite a producer for food, and actually they do ship a lot of that food down the river. It's quite well known for its commerce.
Okay.
That, and it's right next to the gates to hell.
Excuse me?
It's just a local legend. They're not too far from the village of Espedalen. There is like I don't know, like a crag. There are caves. It's called Helvete. Local legend says that it is the gates to hell. If you were to follow it from one end all the way to the other, you would find yourself standing at the very doorway. I'm sure that's just some propaganda from the south. It probably has got some ancient meaning to it. And the old faith still holds a lot of weight and sway up here.
Yeah, I can see why, with a place called Gates of Hell.
It's just local superstition, or maybe propaganda to, try, solidify the positioning of... Well, I don't really know much about religion. But all I know is that local legend says that's what it is, and whether I believe or not, I tend to try and steer clear of it. Let's not put things to the test.
Of course. It's just, as they say, legends always come from somewhere. So even if it's not hell, that may be a place to avoid.
It's a safe bet. I wouldn't want to go testing the theory. But other than that, it's just the farmsteads surrounding Espadal. And it's not really a town, but it kind of is, but it isn't. I mean, it's a small village, then surrounded by the farmsteads. So it kind of makes it a bit more of a town because of how many people there are, but they're spread out over a great distance. Espadal in itself is it's quite small. It's just a little ramshackle group of houses. There's a nice inn there.
An inn?
Yeah. The inn sprung up when they started exporting the food out of the village. When the barges come up the fjord, the crews stay there overnight before they sail the food back down. It's quite nice. I've stayed there myself a couple of times when I've been passing through.
Well, I guess I'll see if me and my friend are gonna pass by there.
Yeah, it's quite a nice place. It does the job. And then there's that manor house as well. And there is a big house up just slightly out of town, out of the village. It kind of almost looms over the village. I've always thought it a little creepy.
And a big house close to a village that sounds like 3 sheds in a row.
Well,
Who does it?
I'm kind of guessing it must have... whoever lived there must have owned all the farmland. But I don't think that's how it's arranged anymore. The last time I passed through, the house was standing empty, just looming over the village.
Well, thank you for your information. Can I get you a refill? Something? Do you want another drink?
That would be lovely, but surely I should.
Oh,
Absolutely.
don't tell me you're one of those people that cannot deal with a girl with a bit of,
No, it would be my pleasure if you were to buy some drinks.
Perfect.
And Elstred, after, flexing just a little with this country boy, gets some drinks, and they sit down to talking, and the train continues on its journey. It rolls past fjord, through mountain, over hill and into vale, past pine forests and mountainous, almost barren plateaus. Hours pass by.
At that point, I'm walking back.
Yes, walking back, not spending the whole journey with this country hunter. And then after several hours of this journey, the train finally pulls into Hadal station. It is evening come night now. The sun has mostly set. The sky is crimson to purple with the blazing light of the setting sun. And as you all get off the train and gather your luggage and maneuver your way through the hustle and bustle of the train station, Max uncharacteristically manages to find the carriage that he has rented that will take you the rest of the way. The carriage journey is only going to be a short one to the nearest coach house, where you will stay for the evening in relative comfort. There will be a warm fire, good food, some local company of farmers, hunters, workers enjoying their ales, telling stories and relaxing after a hard day of work. You sleep comfortably in the coach house before early in the morning boarding the carriage for the remainder of your journey. It is a comfortable carriage, but it is not as comfortable as the train. And it sets off down the long road to Espedalen. It is very similar to the train journey. The surroundings that you see, the forests, the mountains, the fjord. The road itself angles towards the river and follows the river almost the entire way. It being easier to lay a flat road alongside the river than cut your way up and through a mountain.
Yeah.
As you begin to get to the end of your journey, it begins to rain. The rain escalates to thunder. It becomes stormy. The rain begins to hammer onto the sides of the carriage. The carriage does not let up on its journey. It grows strangely dark, almost as if night was setting in. But it is hours before the sun sets. The storm clouds blocking out the sunlight. The view from your window drastically changes and reduces to that of dark, stormy rain, breathing forests in a kind of ghostly, almost like mist. It is illuminated, creating ghastly shapes with each flash of lightning. And the rolls of thunder remind each and every one of you of the childhood stories you remember of Thor and his hammer. It is not very long before the carriage pulls up outside another coach house. You can see desperate candlelight trying to illuminate the street from within the inn, within the coach house. It is a strange interplay where the light seems to fight desperately with the darkness of the storm and yet succeed in creating an invitation that is almost undeniable. The coach door swings open and you see the coachman in a big rain cloak, sopping wet with his wide leather hat and his leather cloak, trying to cover up and keep warm with rain. And he almost seems to shout over the sound of the storm. Here, this is Espedalen, end of your journey.
Getting off the carriage, I guess.
Thank you very much.
Pull the collars of my trench coat up. Should we get moving? Don't want to stay on too long.
Yes, Unless you've become waterproof.
I've heard of an inn in this small village while I was talking with a very awkward hunter of the area. There should be an inn here, so we may need to go there, I guess.
Let's be as
Perfect.
as possible.
Hopefully we'll meet somebody who will be able to point us in the way.
As you bundle out of the carriage with your luggage, trying to defend yourself from the downpour, the carriage very quickly rolls off, leaving the three of you standing at the side of a very soggy road. The darkness of this storm feels like it presses in on you. It is summer in Norway. It should be daylight far into the night, and yet it is dark as if night had fallen. Standing here on the side of this road, the darkness invading your joy, you look around and see, hanging from the building behind you, the one with the lights that seem to struggle against the darkness, those warm candle lights that invite you inside. Hanging above the door is a little sign that says, "Verthuset." It means guest house, inn, coach house, tavern. It is an old word that invites weary travellers to stay in safety and warmth.
This way.
Perfect. It seems a bit odd, don't you think? It's almost like it knows we're here.
Yeah. Let's get in as quick as possible. I don't want to be out in this.
Absolutely. It washes the muck away, doesn't it?
And it's your dog.
Yes, there is. For anyone that doesn't know what Skadi looks like, Skadi is a Danish Spitz.
Yeah.
Skadi is Elstrid's dog, big, fluffy, now wet, and looking very sad. I imagine this little fluffy wet dog looking up at you with sadness, being like, "Can we go inside, please?"
I am trying with my cloak to kind of like sort of cover her while we walk, but obviously it's a bit complicated since it's torrential rain and
You all kind of gather up your belongings as quickly as possible and try to hustle out of the rain. The door to the Verthuset opens, and you kind of almost spill inside. And as the door closes behind you, the sounds of the storm and the darkness and the foreboding weather outside seem to just dissipate completely, leaving you with the warm sounds of an inn. There are several people sitting around, some at the bar, some at tables. It is warmly lit by candle and firelight, and it is warm on the inside. You can smell food and ale. But for all this invitation, for all this comfort, although the foreboding weather is now outside and tucked out of mind, that foreboding lingers in here, regardless of warmth, food, and ale. On every face in the tap room is sadness, is sorrow, and is fear. All eyes turn to you as the door shuts behind you. There is a little moment of silence as everyone takes in the arriving strangers. And then you hear a woman's voice from behind the bar, and she says, come in, don't stand there gawking. You must be soaking. Get by the fire and try and warm yourselves up. Come on. And she bustles round from behind the bar, and immediately all of you are struck with this. This is a Viking woman. She is quite tall, looks like she could crack a tree in half, and has long blonde hair, all done in braids, kind of tied out of her way. She is wearing what looks a little bit like a blacksmith's apron, but when you get a little closer you realize it isn't actually made out of leather. It is just made out of a very sturdy fabric that probably has taken on the coloration of many ales over the years of it being worn and protecting the clothes that she wears underneath. And she kind of motions you over from behind the bar and towards a table that is close to the fire. And she says, hang your coats by the fire, let them dry off. And will you be needing rooms?
Yes, please. It's a lovely place you have here.
Why, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. It does what it needs to. It is a port in the storm.
Literally?
Yes, literally this evening. Well, not just this evening, actually, for the last few days.
Curious.
Yes. We have not had weather this bad in the memory of the village.
And it's rained constantly.
This storm blew in several days ago and hasn't left. Talk of the town is it's stuck because of the mountains. But I just think that's hogwash. We're just unlucky.
At least everything will grow.
That's if it doesn't all drown first. Ooh.
Or get washed away.
Yes. Well, rooms. You wanted rooms, didn't you? Will you be needing 3 or...
3.
3, yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
I don't think we're on the terms of sharing yet.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to make any assumptions. And as luck would have it, we have 3 rooms. The barges for the crops are not due for a week or so yet. Well, the first barges, at least. That will be a busy time, but while they're not here, we have rooms to spare.
Perfect.
Much appreciated.
What comes with the room?
Well, each
I
room
believe
has
a bed, obviously, but yes.
Oh, each room has a bed and a wash basin. We can provide breakfast for extra, if you would like.
Ooh, I like a good breakfast. The most important meal of the day.
So, would all of you like bed and breakfast?
How can I say no to that?
She kind of smiles at you. It's that very genuine, that very genuine smile at the compliment. Well, in that case, I guess I will. Let me go and get you keys for your rooms, and we serve breakfast Well, first thing in the morning, really. When the sun comes up, breakfast does too. And she
And
then
when
goes to bustle off.
but when does the sun rise in a storm?
She's like bustled off as you've kind of asked this question to no one. The three of you sit by the fire and it is warm. You grab some drinks.
How close are other people to us? Because obviously, until now, we've been either on the train or in the carriage, always with very close people. So I haven't got a chance to, talk and ask a very specific question.
So you've actually been maneuvered closer to, like, if you imagine there's a bar area where that seems to be where everybody is sitting. Then there is a little seating area where they probably serve food with tables. You're in this seating area quite close to the fire. There is only one other person sitting in this area with you. And as you look into the corner, it is a middle-aged gentleman who is very generic. There is no standout feature about this man at all. He is... If he was in a crowd, you wouldn't even notice him. I mean, the only reason you've really noticed him is because he is sitting on his own in the same area as you. The only noticeable thing about him is the dog collar, telling you immediately that this man is a priest of the church.
Okay.
Wrong dog collar. Fine.
For goodness sake, this is a Nordic mystery, not German dungeon porn.
You never know in these backwater towns.
Look, we're trying
It
to
gets
keep
dark outside.
this. I have enough problems with my other games, thank you very much. Someone in the chat knows who I'm talking about.
Someone in the game knows who you're talking about.
Someone in the game knows.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I probably should remind everyone in chat that this is a grown up stream.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's too late now. But yes, there is a priest sitting in this area with you, but you are fairly far apart. You know, you're well spaced.
Okay, so I am gonna get as close as possible without, being too obvious about it. Max, what can you tell me about the gates of hell that are apparently close to the village? Was it already a thing last time that you came here?
Did I go there, GM?
You probably would not have... You probably would have gone there to start searching the area for clues, but it was it was unremarkable and unrelated to your case. It was probably one of those areas where you heard that it was called Helveta and went and sort of had a little look around and realized it was completely irrelevant and you didn't actually then go anywhere further into the cave system or the crag. So you'd know of it, but you wouldn't have really been there. You'd have kind of seen the descent into it.
Well, when I went, it had been described. Of course, I had to check it, but it was a nice lunch location.
just because we we think something is afoot here, and the first thing that came to mind to somebody who travels the area was, the gates of hell, which apparently, obviously, are considered just as superstitions at the moment. But with what's happening right now, I think that could be a place to investigate, or at least have a look at
Absolutely.
in the daylight, if we can consider that.
Absolutely. I hope you brought your hiking boots, as the way down is more like a ski slope on a dry day.
I'm always have my hiking boots on. It's the most comfortable type of shoe.
You are able to kind of ease out some of your journey weariness next to the warm fire and dry yourselves out. You enjoy a couple of drinks before you all decide to head to your rooms. Although there are a number of people sitting around in the inn and there is the priest, before you head off, the priest heads off into the inn, and you realize he is probably a guest staying here as well. The other people seem to be locals, but no one seems really up for a chat this evening. And weary with travel, the three of you decide to postpone your investigation until the next morning. So you head to your rooms. They're clean and comfortable. But outside, the storm still rages. Your room is illuminated by the flashes of lightning. You hear the rolls of thunder. Now you are further away from the warmth and conversation of the tap room. That dark foreboding seems to bleed in through the windows as each of you try and lay down for sleep. That darkness, that foreboding, it seems to pour around you. And as each of you drift off to sleep, you are plagued by a restless night of strange dreams, of swirling maelstroms, of angry clouds, blustering gales raging through forests, and water pouring forth from waterfalls, from torrents of rain, from floods. All these strange dreams and images of natural disasters seem to press in to your sleeping mind. It is a fitful and difficult sleep for each of you, and you gain very little rest. And it is about there that I'm going to call a break. So, for you guys who are on stream, I hope that you have absolutely loved the first half. We're going to have a short little break so that we can go and grab some more drinks, we can have a little fire break, grab some snacks. We're going to have our own little short rest. Roll a couple of hit die and the like. So, we will be back with you. We're going to have a little 15-minute break, so we will be back with you bang on 10 o'clock BST. So, go grab yourselves a drink, I will. I'll have a little. I will appear in chat and say hello to everyone. I really hope you're enjoying the first half, and we cannot wait to see you for the second half of tonight's session and to see how our adventurers begin their investigation of this rather mysterious and forlorn village. So, we will see you in 15 minutes. Alright everyone, we are back from our break. We have got some more snacks and beverages, and we are, well, we're refueled and ready to carry on our adventure. I would just like to say a massive thank you to everybody who is in the stream right now. I really hope that you are having as much fun listening to this crazy story as we are telling it to you. And I would like to say a massive thank you to our moderators. So we've got Divining and Mike who are moderating our chat. So thank you very much, because I can't do everything all at once. So thank you so much for all of the assistance. It is much appreciated. And I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has contributed to us in any way, whether that be talking me round when I was like, this is going to be a disaster, and or contributing artwork, or inspiring me with stories, or any of the other crazy things. If you are a player, if you are an audience member, I love all of you deeply, and thank you very much for coming. Now, on the subject of exciting things, I have been really excited to share something with mostly my players, but all of you as well. And in the excitement and the nervousness of starting the first stream and not knowing what I was doing and being really nervous and drinking gin and panicking and then trying to tell a story, I totally forgot it even existed. And so I have saved it up for you guys right now. So if you've managed to make your way all the way through the first half, and you made your way through the break, and you are back here with us, then all I can say is prepare yourself for our magical intro video. And we are back. I hope you enjoyed the intro video that was put together by myself with the amazing and incredible artwork from Shusha. There's going to be all links and stuff in the chat and all the amazing places. Shusha has done just an unfathomably amazing job on all of the character artwork, and we are so very grateful. We love her immensely. Please do go check out all these amazing contributors and these links. And yeah, just big thank you to everyone who has helped us so far. And I'm not going to do a massive big up. I'm going to just slip it in there. Why? Because why not? And the theme song is by me. Ta-da! Multi-talented. There you go. That's all the big up I'm going to get. Okay, and so we are all back. We're all back. We're rested. We're watered and we're refueled, and we are ready to rumble. And so, as we return, ready to begin the second part of tonight's episode, so too is there another start as our characters awaken to their first morning in the little village of Espadale. The morning is as bleak and as dark as the night before. The rain continues to fall, the storm continues to rage, and the morning sun is nowhere to be seen. A grim, grey light fills each of your rooms. The sound of the rain hammers against the window panes. Ghostly illumination of lightning flickers. With your disturbed night of strange dreams of impending doom and disaster, it is very difficult for any of you to realise, is it the morning or is it still night? Have I slept or have I not? Has time passed or did it pause? Each slowly come to the realisation that it must be morning. Who is the first to get up?
I think that's probably gonna be me because I have a very enjoyable fluffy fur. That's probably gonna need a walk.
Everyone in the chat who has a dog is like, yes. Yes. This moment where you think you get a lion and your dog is like, hey, do you love me?
I always know what time of the day it is because it's either, walkie time or food time. So.
Okay, absolutely. So when you get up and you get yourself dressed and you grab Skadi, you realise that the weather outside is just as bad as it was the night before, and your quick walk is a miserable one. Normally you're okay with the twisting and turning of the weather, whatever it has to throw at you. You're used to being out in the forest, out on the land, surviving. But for some strange reason, this storm affects you. It seems to sap your joy, your hope. You are wet, and you are cold, and you are miserable when you return. And Skadi is equally cold, wet, and miserable when you return. You are grateful for the warmth and the light of the evening. As you come in through the door, soaking wet, you are greeted with another friendly face. Who is the second person who is likely to have woken up?
Probably myself.
And
Used to-
precisely.
Bang on time, I am up.
Precisely. In a well-pressed suit with a well-made bed.
Uniform nicely ironed, all buttoned up.
And
Morning.
it is like two completely opposing opposites here. You have the very well-presented pressed suit, made bed, military precision, that is Lieutenant Colonel Seaton, and the very soggy, very miserable Elstrid and Scuddy.
Well, as you can probably guess, the weather hasn't really let up yet. So we're gonna be in for a fun day.
So I could see. Morning coffee?
Yes, please.
I'll walk over to the bar and get some coffee. Yeah, I'll pick it up and then walk back and sit between us.
I think, yeah, we're gonna like go again. I'm, soaking wet, so I'm gonna go again against the close to the fire. I'm assuming it's still up.
Assume so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like some sort of weird, almost groundhog effect, because it's still candlelit. There's still fires burning. The only thing that's different is that there is no one in the tap room. It's just you two and Scuddy. Until we get a Max, who, I don't know, is Max a morning person?
Max is an all-day kind of person. He's equally aloof, be it morning, afternoon, night.
I mean, at least you're consistent, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and what sort of time do you think you would appear? Do you think you would appear not long after the Colonel?
Probably not long. Yeah, I would probably have heard his boots walking down the corridor upstairs.
I'm not being silent.
Trust me, I live with Luke, who knows all about the military drilling. I know those footsteps aren't silent.
Yeah, so you come downstairs and pick up a coffee for yourself as well.
Thanking you. The
Yeah.
weather sounds equally delightful as it was yesterday.
That's for sure. I bring myself back to the fireplace, then kind of standing to attention next to the fire, coffee in hand. So, what is going to be our plan of action while we are here?
I believe first off we should visit Ingrid. And see how she is. Also whether there are any clues.
We need to find out when it happened, if every child disappeared at the same time, from everyone in their own house, or maybe they were all at school. We need to get more information to be able to find out what happened, I guess.
I also suggest that we stop by the church and talk to the priest.
I believe the priest was staying here. We should be seeing him shortly.
In that case,
I mean, maybe this is just the only place where people can mingle, so that's why he was here, even if he was very on his own yesterday.
Be interesting to know if the disappearance of children happened around the same time as a storm.
exactly. Whether the priest can offer us any biblical explanations.
Max, you are more sensitive to this stuff. How do you feel about the storm? I myself know it feels quite oppressive.
How do I feel, GM?
That is a good question. All of you feel the kind of oppressive misery of this storm. It's like, here's a good analogy. You know when you go camping and it rains a little bit, and then in the evening it's cold, and it just doesn't matter what you do because you got damp, you are now cold, and you cannot not be cold, and you are cold for ages, and it just makes you miserable that you are cold. It's that kind of feeling. It's that kind of it's that oppressive, tired, cold, miserable, and all of you feel it. It's undoubtable. You just can't escape from it.
Okay, question. On my walk, did I see anything?
No, so you will have seen that Espadalen is a little village. Really, now that you've been outside, you know how small this village is. It is basically made up of 4 houses, the inn, the manor house up on the hill, and there is a temple to the old gods in this village, and that is about it. That's it. That's the village.
So that kind of priest, temple priest.
No,
No.
no, it is a Christian priest in the inn.
And there is no church.
There is no church in Espadalen.
Well, then when we are talking about trying to find the priest, I'm gonna say there is no church. So he's probably here, as you were saying. That raises more questions, actually.
With
Okay,
regards to the storm,
I'm coming straight in there. I need someone to give me a vigilance check. And you're going to love this. It needs to be the person with the lowest vigilance.
Okay. I have 0.
2.
3.
Okay, so technically it is Max who needs to roll. Because, Elstrid, you have Scuddy, who has a vigilance of 3.
You're right. I forgot.
Yeah. So, Max, give us a vigilance check.
No modifiers.
No modifiers.
Here it comes.
Woo!
Ooh, okay, 1 success. Nice. Okay. It is kind of while you're having this conversation and while you are chatting that it dawns on you, Max, that you are completely alone down here. There is a pot of coffee on the side, and there is what you assume is a pot of tea and water. There is no one behind the bar. In fact, there's no one here at all other than you three. And it is very quiet.
Is the fire lit?
Yes.
So Max would probably be looking into the fire, watching the flames flicker backwards and forwards as the smoke rises up the chimney. And then he would just turn his eyes and catch Elstrid looking at him, watching the fire, and go, "Where is everybody?"
Did I see anybody on my way down when I went for the walk with Scuddy?
Nope.
I haven't seen anyone except for you two since I'm up. Since I was up.
Did you see anyone on your walk?
No. Did we say that there are like tea and coffee and water jugs or somewhere like? Because like we took coffee, so like, I'm assuming there is a pot.
Yeah, like on the bar. It's almost like someone has prepared it for people to come down, but they're not. They're not here.
Is the pot hot?
Yes.
Okay. It hasn't been made since long. Okay, I am gonna go behind the bar and like whatever, like the only the innkeeper access room or something.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
not opening the door.
There is a door behind the bar that you assume takes you out into the kitchen or
Hello?
maybe
Anybody?
the back room.
Hello?
Elstrid, I didn't know that you were also a barmaid.
5 weeks back when I was a teenager, that was enough.
You swing the door open and start saying hello, hello, and you see out the back is a kitchen. It's a fairly well appointed kitchen. They clearly can make meals here. So they're obviously able to make proper meals. And as you open the door, it's warm on the inside, and you can smell. Cooking. It smells like someone is making breakfast. So, you've got that sort of very faint smell of bacon or, like sort of chicken being cooked.
Yeah.
But what you can hear is the sound of someone very softly crying. Somewhere in the kitchen. It's a little bit obscured because the kitchen seems to have there's a little bit at the front with a table which looks a little bit like maybe they bring food, put it on the table, food goes out to the restaurant, dirty plates come back onto the table, and then there's a washing bit to the side. So this looks like food out, dirty plates in, washing. And then there is you can see the kitchen kind of then curves around to the right.
I feel like Bartholomew would have followed her.
Is anybody there? I can hear you. Are you okay?
There's like a little flustered sound, like you hear someone like obviously knocks a frying pan or a saucepan. There's a dunk, you know, like that really loud metal like dunk sound, and there's like a little bit of commotion, and then the woman who was behind the bar last night reappears. However, she seems rather than the sort of friendly, cheerful face that you saw last night, she looks like she has been in the kitchen crying for some time. She looks tired, gaunt, and full of sorrow. And she kind of comes round the corner, clearly trying to like dab at her face so that it isn't obvious she's been crying, even though there's no hiding. You know, there's no hiding puffy crying eyes. And then you see as she comes round, she sees you and she says, yes, I'm here. And stands up a little taller. She puts a smile on her face. She tries to transform herself into that friendly, but she fails miserably. It looks put on. She looks tired. Sad.
Madam, are you okay? Is everything alright?
Yes. Everything is fine. Are you ready for breakfast?
Sure, but do you need any help? You seem in distress.
There's a little pause, and you watch her wring her handkerchief a little bit. She is clearly trying to think about what she is going to, like, do in this moment. So she is a little bit wringing her hanky, a little bit. Give me either an inspiration or a manipulation roll, Elstrid. Think about how you're asking her if she's okay. Are you trying to sort of do the supportive, safe space, like it's okay to talk, or are you trying to do the like asking questions, tell us?
I just want to help. I'm just trying to offer any kind of assistance that I can do.
Okay, wing us out an inspiration roll.
No, can I go? Yeah.
Ooh. So she wrings her handkerchief out a little bit, and then she takes a deep breath, puts the handkerchief into her pocket, straightens out her apron, and says, honestly, everything is fine. Breakfast. I must offer you breakfast. What would you like?
So, whatever you can offer that doesn't require too much time. You seem pretty busy.
No, quite the opposite. You are the only guests up. There's only one other guest staying, so I am more than happy to get stuck into my work and get you some breakfast. We have meat and we have eggs. We have bread. I can provide all of these things if you would like. Just a big breakfast plate for each of you.
Sure.
Can I come in? Sorry, can I come in? Just go, my lady. I feel it would be best if you take your weight off your feet for just a moment and sit by the fire.
Oh, okay. So, in this case, why don't you wing us out this inspiration roll?
Not gonna go well.
Come on, Jack, bro. Nothing changes.
Nothing ever
changes.
changes. So for everyone,
Always the same.
for everyone in chat, Jack's dice rolls are notoriously horrific until it matters. With the one roll that really matters will be amazing, and everything else will be awful. And she frowns a little bit at you and says, I am quite capable of providing you breakfast and running my establishment this morning, I assure you, please. Go find somewhere comfortable to sit and I will bring your breakfast out very shortly. Is there enough coffee, tea, water?
Understood.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, everything is fine in the room. And I'm gonna start leaving the kitchen because I'm pretty sure we're still in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm
Max,
gone.
where are you through this social disaster?
Yeah.
Max is sat near to the fire where he has found a dried autumn leaf type thing, you know, one of those crispy leaves. And he's just held it up to the flames and he's watching the steam rise off of this wet
Oh.
autumnal type leaf.
So while the social disaster is occurring in the kitchen, you hear the door.
Max is steaming leaves.
Just steaming leaves. You hear the door open and footsteps come into the tap room, and they're quiet. They're the sort of steps of someone who is used to walking around in silent places. It's not the footsteps of someone sneaking. It's just, it's someone fairy-footed, basically. It's someone who's like intentionally very quiet. And they'll
Do I
enter the
notice
tap room.
them?
Will be behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you will hear them.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of have a look.
It is the priest. He has come in and walked to a table, noticeably a fair distance from where you're sitting. It's almost as if someone walked in the room and went, oh, I want to sit as far away from them as I possibly can without it being noticeable. I'm trying to sit as far away from them as I can.
So I'm going to get up with my leaf. I'm going to wander over to where the priest is. I'm just going to bob down, kind of just bob down next to the priest and go, so how do you fit in here?
He turns to you and gives you a rather quizzical look and says, I don't know what you mean, child.
There is no church for you to preach at, but there is a temple to the old gods here. Where do you sermon?
Well, you make a very astute observation. That is precisely the reason I am here. I am here to bring the word.
And how long have you been here for?
I have been here long enough to know that these people need the power of the Almighty to save them.
But how long is that?
I arrived shortly after the first disappearance. Call it divine intervention. Clearly the angels guided me to a place in need.
But since you came, more have disappeared. So, your intervention could have caused more disappearances? Or do you know what has caused the disappearances?
So, give me a manipulation roll.
Ich.
I'm not going to say inspiration because
Is this one I can use advantage on?
no, it isn't.
No,
So your advantage
not.
gives you information when you try and remember. Oh, look at that success! Success. Nice. Okay, so in that case, the priest says there are dark forces at work here. I fear the devil himself walks these streets.
In him?
No, but his presence is noticeable. He steals away the innocent, and that darkens the heart of those left behind.
But... I have two questions for you. First of all, how long after you arrived did the storm arrive? And secondly, how would the devil know to come to people that don't believe in him if they don't believe in him because they're believing in the old gods?
It is precisely their lack of faith that brings the devil among them. If they do not pray, then they are in danger, for there is no God to protect them here, where he is not worshipped. And to answer your question about the storm, I fear this is retribution. It is the devil's attempt to corrupt the souls who live here. For the storm arrived as soon as I spoke the word of the Lord.
So you upset the storm gods?
There is only one God, and it is not his work that brings this maelstrom.
But what about the gods that are older than your god?
My child, there is only one true
Now,
God, and forever. Amen.
so have you tried leaving the town just to see if the storm would stop?
It would be against my principles to leave those in need.
But have they asked for your help?
That is a fair question. No, they have not asked for my help, but they do not need to, for I give it willingly.
Okay, are you staying here?
For as long as it takes to drive out the evil.
I just meant in the pub.
Then, yes, this is where I will be staying.
Okay, at least I know where to catch you. It's not a problem. Thanking you, I'm going to take my leaf back to the fire and continue drying it now. Thank you.
That's been the best bit of roleplay this whole game so far.
There is there is a very quizzical look on the face of this priest after his encounter with Max, as Max heads back over to the fire to see his leaf. The door behind the bar opens, and Elstrid and the Colonel come. That is officially now your name. I shall call you the Colonel from now on to save my embarrassment. I keep trying to say Lieutenant Colonel Seaton. I'm just going to call you the Colonel. Just saying. So as Elstridge and the Colonel come out of the kitchen, looking a little chastised, I might add, and they head back over to Max, who is busy steaming a leaf like nothing has happened in the last few minutes.
Do we notice anything weird? Like
other than
Max
the other guest who is now in the tap room.
Okay. Good morning.
I'll just nod my head at your father.
Good morning, my child. Morning.
And walk back to the fire with Max.
You smell of bacon.
That's going to take ages to get out of this uniform.
It's a nice smell. I would keep it.
Pull out a cigar and light it off the fire. I see the father has joined us.
Yes. Interesting person. He's staying in the pub.
You spoke with him?
Yes. I think he's more aloof than I am.
No.
That's not worrying.
The storm arrived after he did. He did something and has upset a balance. I asked if he left yet, just to see if it would stop. But he says he won't.
I'll kind of look over to the priest. Is he watching us? Or...
No, he isn't. He has got out from his priestly room. He's got out, it's not a Bible, it's not big enough. You assume it's probably a book of Psalms, or a book of prayers, or some other sort of ecclesiastical writing. And he is engrossed in reading it. He has the book in one hand, he's sort of fiddling with his cross in the other, and he has fetched himself a cup of tea.
While he's doing this, does the storm seem to worsen at all? Or does it kind of maintain a constant sense of misery?
It continues just with a constant severity, constant savagery. In fact, it's a little bit alarming because rain like this, they've said it's lasted a few days. There's now, it would stand to reason there is now a flood. There is a flood or a landslip risk, like the amount of rain they must have had should mean there is flooding. And the storm just continues regardless, irrespective of the priest's activities.
The rain and flooding concerns me, concerning to our ventures towards the Hell Gates.
I guess first we need to find Inga, and then we will decide what to do after.
I agree.
Also, is it Inga or Ingrid? Because I wrote both.
Inga.
Inga. Thank you.
It isn't long before a man brings out your breakfast. He is built the same as the barwoman. He has got this rugged Viking feel about him. He also looks like he could snap a tree. And he brings out the breakfasts and sets them on the table. And then he takes the fourth seat at the table. he sort of casually just slips onto the fourth seat at the table, and he says, I'm sorry that you saw my wife upset this morning. I just wanted to apologise and just make sure that
No apology needed.
Exactly.
I saw nothing.
Is there anything that we can do? She seemed in distress, and we like to help.
I don't think there is anything anyone can do at this moment. I fear it is hopeless.
What is your name and your wife's name, please?
My name is Jarl. My wife is Thor. We own the Vaesen.
Thank you. I wonder. And I kind of get in a little closer. How do you feel about the arrival of the other guest in the corner?
I'm not sure what you mean. We welcome all weary travellers. He hasn't caused any problems.
Not from a business point of view. Well, just to let you know, Luke, apparently you're a little quiet.
Oh, am I?
Yes, just because I know that you can't see chat.
Turn myself up a little bit.
Not from a business point of view. I mean, you have a temple to the old ways here, and yet there is a new ways creature in the corner.
I see what you mean. He does not bother myself. Every man is allowed to believe in whatever makes him happy. He has not caused us any problems, though I cannot speak for the rest of the village. There are some whose arrival. There are some whose. It is causing some contention between the villages.
Who is this?
Everyone. You are very astute in your observations about the village, having been here for such a short time. This village is a village of faith. Unfortunately, it is a faith that conflicts with our visitor. So, there is a little bit of tension.
I'm really sorry, GM. Because I know you love questions like this.
Yeah.
What's the date?
I don't know. Why in particular?
Well, I'm just wondering whether or not there's going to be a
Season?
festival or something going on at the temple soon.
Oh,
Being a
right,
studier
I'm with
of
you.
the
Yes,
the ancient ways.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm with you. No. Based on the calendar, there is not going to be a religious festival for either side anytime soon.
Yeah.
So it's you're past midsummer. So the next kind of big, the next religious rush will be harvest time.
Okay. Have people been frequenting the temple whilst the guest has been here?
Yes. Although that itself has caused a little bit of visited. When he first arrived, he waited outside and kind of caught everyone a little unawares with his sermon, and it escalated tensions. There was some arguments, there was some disagreements that became quite loud. The situation was resolved before it turned to violence, but you see, we have all the children have gone missing, including my daughter.
I am aware.
How do you know this?
I received a letter from a good friend of mine, Inga. It's why we're here.
Then maybe there is hope after all.
I wonder, how long have you owned this inn?
It was my grandfather's, and then my father's, and now mine.
Do I recall staying here when I was here last time, GM?
No, you didn't, but you do vaguely remember. You do vaguely remember here. Inga put you up last time.
Right. I'm sorry to have not made your acquaintance the last time I was here. I stayed with Inga when her husband was taken.
I did think I recognized you. You are that investigator.
Correct. And these are my companions. This is Elstrid, and this is Lieutenant Colonel Bartholomew Seaton.
So you have come to find the children. You have come to save the village.
That's our aim.
We can but try.
This
And maybe we can get this rain to stop. Or else,
maybe there
Espadalen
is-
will become a lake.
Maybe there is hope after all. Anything you need, anything at all, and we will try and help you. Anything you need to help
No,
find our children.
we require nothing more than the truth.
Then you will have it. From me.
Thank you.
And my wife.
We would be very appreciative if you didn't alert everybody to our presence, as we need to be able to work without the constant pounding of when. We will work as quickly as we can.
Give me a manipulation roll to see if
Oh,
you can
not
convince
again.
him, or an inspiration. I will let you pick which one, manipulation or inspiration,
Both
to
are
see
just
if
as
you
bad.
can convince this man not to go and tell everyone the saviors have come to get all their children.
Okay, I'm gonna go back for manipulation again, because they're both exactly the same. Crap. Nope,
Okay.
not that time.
It's not like he immediately just gets out a bugle and starts announcing it to everyone. But he nods at you. He nods at you. It's as I understand.
Thank you. I wonder, my friend Elstrid met a stranger on the train, and she does seem to do that quite a bit. She meets strange men. I don't know. I don't know where she finds them, but she has mentioned something about Helvete. I know I visited slightly near to it before, but I'm uncertain of how to get there from here, especially with the storm. It's potentially washed some of the landmarks away.
Well, in order to get there, you will need to go up past the haunted mansion. I'm sure if you went there before, you would have past it is that strange house on the hill that stands empty.
Did?
Yes. So everyone says. My father told me it was haunted when I was little. Probably to stop us going in. It's probably dangerous. No one has been in there or up there in years. Apparently it used to belong to a doctor of some description. But that was many years ago, before I was born. Now it stands empty. There's rumours of lights at the windows, spooky occurrences. People just tend to avoid it.
Do you know who has the keys? It could be a fun outing for ourselves.
Last I
We could
recall-
potentially, sort a couple of problems at once.
Well, last I recall, no one has ever had the keys. But the door is not locked. Or at least it wasn't when every generation of children go up there and sneak into the house. I've been there myself. Only the once. It was a terrifying experience.
Thank you very much. I realise I've been chatting for a while. Alstrid or Colonel Seaton, is there anything I've potentially missed? Or should we just pack up a picnic and head out in the glorious weather?
I have a question. We learned that the children disappeared. Did that happen all at once on a specific day? Like it happened on a few days? You woke up and they weren't there? How did that happen? How did you find out that the children had disappeared?
The children disappeared one after another. Halfdan was the first to disappear. Inga's boy. Followed by Gunhild. Then Einar and Harold disappeared together. Their brothers. Inga went out to try and find them, but she wasn't able to. Then, our helper disappeared.
Have these children all stayed in the haunted house itself? Or are they too young for that?
They have been up there. This generation of children were led by Halfdan. It's always a competition with that boy. Always. Anyway, he convinced them all or dared them all, I don't know. You know what kids are like. And they went up there all together. By the sounds of it, they had a frightening experience like I did, like we have all done when we were children. If you're interested in the house, I would ask the priest. He asked lots of questions about it, and he's been up there a few times. And he points, like, back into the tap house, and as you kind of turn to have a little look, you realise the priest is no longer sitting in the inn.
Did you hear him leave?
No, you've been too caught up in this. You've been too caught up in this conversation where clues, like your first clues, seem to be appearing that none of you even noticed. Jarl kind of turns back to you after sort of motioning and just sort of goes humph, you know, like the sound, but doesn't really think anything about the priest not being there. He turns and he says, I shouldn't keep you. Enjoy your breakfast. If you have any questions, we'll do anything we can to help.
You have been most helpful, and please thank your wife, as well as the food is delicious.
He nods as he gets up, and you see he wanders over to the bar, takes a cloth, starts sort of wiping the bar over absent-mindedly, and then heads into the kitchen, and it leaves the three of you in the tap room together.
Well, if our priest friend has been going up to the haunted mansion, I think we should take a look.
Agree.
I agree.
Well,
Do you want to meet Inga first, though?
I agree.
To,
I think we should do
to show that you're here.
Yes, that would be a good idea.
Right, so as you
I don't
finish your
believe she lives completely in town, though.
She lives literally
Cross the-
almost over the road.
Wait, we said 4 houses, 1 inn and 1 temple. So.
Yeah, she lives literally almost over the road to the Vertuset. So as all of you finish your breakfast and you get up, I'm guessing that you're all going to head out of the inn.
Oui, oui.
Right, here we go. We've got a bit of excitement coming your way, guys. On the stream. Hopefully all of this works. Alright, we'll do a little scene swipe there. Then I shall bring all of you over. Yes, look at that. Okay, we have magic happening here. God, this is me being like, I hope everything works. Alright, if I zoom you out. Here you go, guys. Here is Espadalen for everyone in chat. The little token you can now see flying around the screen represents our group of adventurers, and this right here is the inn. So let me write on here so that you guys remember where you are. Go, look at that. God, anyone would think I knew what I was doing. Oh, that might be a bit too big. Eh. Is that appearing? Why isn't that appearing? Clearly,
On our screen.
clearly don't know what I'm doing.
On Roll20 is there.
Just not on Luke's version.
How
Yeah.
strange. Can
It's
you
weird.
all see it?
We
I
can.
mean,
We can.
I can see it on Roll20, but if I'm looking at the stream, it's not there.
Yeah. It's not on the stream, but it's on our screen.
Yeah.
Oh, that is because the stream seems to have paused.
Oh. I mean, I am moving.
Yeah. Oh well, there. Everyone on chat is saying they can see it. I can't actually see it on mine, so I'm just
I
gonna
don't
believe
know.
all of you.
I mean, do they know what they need to look for? Because I don't know if it's clear that there is. I think now.
If I do this, so Captain Sharazad, where I'm pinging,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the little map on our, I think our fabulous map, which is just here, has paused because it doesn't look like
Yes.
it's updating.
Yeah, your map has paused, Luke, because
Okay,
the
let's
token
bring
is
this out.
moving around.
Yeah, we
Bring
are
us back in.
supposed.
Yay! It's working! There you go. Look, you can see Vertiset now is written in there. Hopefully everyone can see that. Move the token again for me.
Moving it around.
Technical issues. Woohoo! Okay, so you are here. You are in this lovely building. This is the inn. This is the Vertiset. And then you would know that Inga's house is this one here. Hopefully chat can see arrows appearing. It's that one. Can everyone see that in chat? Michael, can you nod if people can see that in chat? Because I can't see chat now.
I can see that on the stream, so yes, it's fine.
Me too.
It's that one. That's Inga's house. So let me just enter. God, this is like some sort of horrible nightmare. I'm gonna write Inga's. There you go. Look at that. Okay, there you go, guys. So that's Inga's house.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, going to head out of the door, and before going to Inga's house, I'm gonna lead the guys to the jetty to have a look at what the river's doing.
Okay. The river is quite choppy, actually. The river looks as angry as the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Gauging from the jetty, you imagine the river is it is a lot fuller than it normally is.
Yeah,
Just-
that's cool.
So yes, the river does look like it is a lot fuller than it normally is. It doesn't look like it's imminently going to burst its banks, but it looks as angry as the sky.
Yeah. There won't be much fishing done in this river at the moment.
I fear not.
Let's make our way to Inga's before we resemble the river. I'm gonna toss a coin down the well as I walk past.
Okay.
And then going to get to Inga's house and knock on the door.
There are no lights on in Inga's house. It stands grey, cold and dark, as if the fire on the inside has completely gone out, as if there is no light, life or hope left in the building. You approach the house through the garden gate, through the fence and up to the door. And as you knock on the door, it swings open with a creak. The door to Inga's house is not locked, and the darkness of the storm around you, the dark foreboding, seems to have already beaten you to Inga's house. For the house beyond is dark and foreboding. And it is right there
No.
that I am going to call an end to this evening's session.
No!
There you go, guys. That is the end of the first session. That is the end of all the roleplay for this evening.
I've also just added the links to everything in the chat a couple of times. So, yeah, Zhuzh's the last link on there that takes you through to her Instagram. It is fantastic, and she has done all of our most amazing character art, which hopefully you'll get to see more of very soon.
It's well worth checking out, guys. In chat, you really need to go and see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit up all those links, have a look, check it all out.
Yeah.
I am going to say a huge thank you to our cast this evening. So we have Mike, we have Sarah, and we have Jack. Without them, this would not be possible. I want to say a huge thank you to each of them for bringing my stories to life. We are going to continue with this story, except we're gonna have a funny session next week. So next week we are gonna have meet a couple of the cast, meet the GM, bring your questions, have a chat, get to know us. We're gonna talk a little bit about the game world. Okay, so I've got my hook in there. Hopefully you're all hooked to the story and want to know what has happened, but you will need to wait an extra week, as next week is our meet the cast session and our story will resume the following week. Keep up to date on all the goings on our socials. We have our Insta page and we have our YouTube page where this video will be uploaded. I'm going to say a huge thank you to my cast members. I've got my camera rotated. Cast members who are over here. And a huge thank you. If everyone give a round of applause on the chat, that would be lovely. And I am going to let you all go as I kind of close out the stream. Say thank you to everybody. So big thank you, guys. And we will see you soon. I'm going to hand over so you can all say something.
I mean, a big shout out to the GM. Come on.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Thanks, Luke.
We would
so
not
much.
be here without you.
Exactly.
I
All
don't
the
know if
amazing
that's
work you've done
compliment
putting
or
this all
not.
together.
Like,
The amazing work you've done putting this all together. I mean, you've done most of this by yourself.
Exactly.
We are only here to play the game that you created. It is fantastic and amazing, and so much. Just thank you.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to say a big goodbye to all the cast. So see you later, cast. Thank you very much. You've been
See you later.
amazing. And then I'm going to be with chat. So hey, chat. It's just me and you right now. So we get to feel, like little friends, a little intimate moment. You will see on this side of the screen, there is now some rolling credits. These are all the people that we have to say a massive thank you to for all of their contributions. We have Zhuzha. I can't go on about how amazing Zhuzha's artwork is. You will see all of Zhuzha's artwork coming very, very soon in all of our tokens as they move around. We have Free League. This would not exist without Free League. They are the creators of Vaesen. Head over to their website, check it out. If you're intrigued by Nordic horror and you want to do some role-playing like us, please head over. You can get the rulebooks and everything you need to play the game right there. They do 100 other games as well that are amazing and worth mentioning, including an Alien RPG, and they have recently released a Lord of the Rings roleplay game, which is also amazing. So head over, hit them up, give them a good love. Johan Egerkrans is someone who is you're going to hear his name a fair amount. He is coming up on these credits now. Here he is. He is the creator of the Vaesen artwork, all of the original artwork and the original book from which the roleplay game is inspired. Check him out. His artwork is truly stunning. Then we have Roll20. They hosted us. We've got tabletop audio, all these ambient sounds like the train station, the thunderstorm. This is all tabletop audio. They are absolutely amazing. Kevin MacLeod provides some music along with the ambience, all in the Roll20 jukebox. It's all together, it's all amazing. We made the map, so the map that you saw tonight, that was made in Dungeon Fog and the assets that they have there. And then there's a couple of other little things. So the OBS overlays were made by me. And it also references the lovely runic lettering that we used and the software that I used to make the music. So that's huge. That's all the credits and all the creditations that we need to do. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you as well for coming along, and I really hope that you have had a fabulous time and really enjoyed yourself on the stream tonight. I don't know if I've got anything from the mods. Mike, I can hear you in my head. Do we have anything from the mods? Any questions? Any shout-outs? Anything? Yes, so we've got a big shout-out to Dan, who has modded the chat so gracefully and fabulously modded the chat. Just so you know, Div and Ink and Divining, and you go by Mikey B456, don't you? Okay, both of them are also amazing streamers. They stream Sea of Thieves and other really fun games. Have a little look on their Twitch, hit them up. They are amazing streamers playing really fun games and just being genuinely ridiculous, creating safe spaces. It is LGBT Pride Month, so it's a super huge big deal, this creating safe spaces for gamers and other people in our communities. And they are huge ambassadors to that, so please go hit them up, have a little look at all of their amazing streams, because they're fantastic. Now, I've got someone trying to find a raid person, so we are going to try and raid you out. By the way, I've got no idea what's happening. I'm just winging it with voices in my head, so if anyone wants to know this, I now know what it's like to be a medium. And be hearing voices and talking to an audience. Okay, hang on. Do I have to do this in Twitch itself? In my own chat, which I may not have open. Here you go. How embarrassing is this, everyone? While I quickly open things on my computer. I mean, that sounds like you're not convincing me. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so /raid space JOEFUG Joe Fudge. All right, guys. So we're gonna raid out to Joe Fudge. I've got no idea. Is that it? I've hit it. It says raid. Here we go, kids. We're now raiding. I've got no idea what this means. Thank you, all my Twitch mods who know how Twitch works. I just literally did. I came here to tell stories, and these people are helping me not do all these Twitch things. So we're ready to rumble. So I'm going to say my final goodbye and my final massive super thank you. I really hope to see you next week, where we get to meet some cast, chat about the game, chat about the world, chat about how all of these things work, and really try and bring you some immersivity into it all. And then, more importantly, I hope to see you the week after for the next episode of The Society. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I hope to see you soon.